Welcome back to DataShark Academy. Let's look at a typical Kafka setup. In a basic Kafka application, you will have a Kafka cluster in the middle. Inside Kafka cluster, there could be one or more brokers depending upon how big your cluster is. Okay. Now on the left hand side, you'll see a red rectangle. That is one or more Kafka producers. A Kafka producer reads data from source systems and sends to Kafka cluster. There are many types of data sources which are supported in Kafka. For instance, you can have a relational database, one or more file systems, or even another Kafka cluster which is sending data to this Kafka cluster. Okay. In other words, you can chain together multiple Kafka clusters too. Let's move to the right side of the diagram. There you see a blue rectangle. This is a consumer. You can have one or more consumers here. Each of the consumer is reading data from a partition inside the Kafka cluster and sending that data to the target systems. Okay. Now target systems could be same as the source systems. Okay. Which means that it could be a relational database or a file system or some other kind of a system that is therefore storing the data. Based on what your consumer application is designed to do, it could simply be sending the data directly to the target system and storing it there. Or it could be doing some sort of analysis like aggregating the results before sending it to the storage systems. We will have an exercise later in this course to integrate Kafka with Apache Spark streaming. And there you will see how this works in real world. Now let's look at another type of the system which is called real-time system. Now when your system flow is working in real time, meaning that data is flowing from source system to the producer, then to the Kafka cluster, from there to the consumers and to the final target system, then such a system is called a real-time system. Basically, your data is moving from one end to the another end in real time. This is the most common type of architecture that you'll find in the Kafka. You can create Kafka applications which are receiving and processing data in real time. An example of such a system or a use case of such a system is what banks use. If there is a fraud transaction, then banks need to know it immediately rather than waiting for end of the day to analyze the transaction. It will be too late by then, right? So in such cases, real-time processing is critical. Later in the course, we will do some exercises demonstrating real-time systems. So hang on to it. I want to look at the another kind of the system which is called batch processing system. In addition to real-time systems, Kafka also supports batch processing systems. A batch processing system is one where data is read from source but it isn't processed by the target system immediately, as you can see here in the diagram. Instead, there will be some end of the day process that will do some analysis and send the data to the target system. In this diagram, you have seen that data is coming and getting stored at the Kafka. Okay, and then after a amount of data is accumulated, consumer starts reading it and processing it. By default, Kafka provides up to 2 weeks of retention for the data stored inside it. Batch processing is also very common use case, and you will find most of the Apache Hadoop applications, especially built using MapReduce, are using this kind of architecture, where data is accumulated throughout the day or couple of hours, and then a process is triggered to analyze it. Now you understand what Kafka architecture looks like, and what are real-time and batch processing systems. Next, let's take a look at a real example of Kafka setup at Netflix. I'll see you in the next class.